Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of TalkGA, our podcast on anything and everything Grand Archive. I'm your host, Mark from Solar Games, and joining me are my co-hosts, Eva and Fome.
Hello.
Hey everybody.
Hey, the first take. One take, first take.
Wow.
One take, Mark. Let's go.
He's back.
I have a new name.
He's him.
I'm in. All right. So, first off, I want to know about your week. How was it? What have you guys been doing?
Pretty good. Opened a lot of MRC Alter.
Yeah.
By a lot, I mean 2 boxes.
Did you get anything good?
Didn't get backup chargers.
Yeah, they're hard to get.
That's all I wanted, so I'm sad.
Oh man.
But maybe we open some more boxes. If you can give me more cases.
Open more boxes.
Buy
sure.
from Solar Games.
That's right. DM
That's
me.
right.
Yes. Eva?
I did a recent internship at Solar Games for a day. Just like came to your
yeah.
house, opened boxes for you, sorted them. You cooked us dinner. That was awesome. Delicious.
It's great. Yep.
Not exactly free labor. He at least fed us.
Yeah.
I like interns. Eva's very good at it too. So
Mark is a great cook.
Yes, very true. It was a feast.
I wish I can cook better in GA.
It was an auspicious feast.
Yeah, you're getting cooked in GA.
That's always yes. I'm getting cooked in GA, so I can get in the back and cook more food. Yeah, it's good. Thank you guys for joining us at dinner. It was great. Hosting you guys. It was just really fun.
It was fun.
My daughter had a great time. Eva's literally like, we now have a production line with my new intern Eva, because Eva can open packs and my daughter's like on the back sorting.
That's his daughter is actually my supervisor.
Yeah,
she's like
can we
too slow?
faster, please, faster. Yeah. All right. That's enough for this about this week. For today's show, we're gonna talk about the BNR, the BNR announcement that just happened recently. We're gonna, of course, do an update on cornering the market. There's a lot of really interesting price movements this week. It's gonna be pretty cool. And of course, with our main topics, we're gonna be discussing the recent conclusion of the Nats season, which are finalizing all of our players who will be going into Worlds, which is really exciting. In addition of our main topic, we're gonna talk about the speed of the game and whether GA is maybe too fast. All right, cool. You guys all ready to talk about the first topic for today?
So much to discuss.
BNR,
today.
ban and restricted.
So much.
It's my BNRs are Fome.
That's right. So this BNR was very impactful.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of things happen on it. I think people are going to be quite happy that Dissonant Fractal is now Category 3.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Unless you're a Fractal player, right? Aren't you sad?
So even I heard the Fractal players are very happy about this because they're like, yeah, this card is busted.
All right.
But there's also some other movements. So Crystalline Mirror and Lost in Thought have been moved to Category 2.
Very nice.
I wonder
very
what we
nice.
think about that. Yeah. And then on Category 1, we have Mercenary's Blade.
Is moved in.
Yeah. It's a pretty powerful card.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's in Category 1 now. And Scepter of Lumina, well, it's been errated to the point that it no longer needs to be on the list at all.
Yeah.
So it's just out entirely.
Yeah,
I think that's quite fair.
Yeah.
Good update.
Yeah. So Dissonant Fractal.
Yeah.
Category 3.
Okay.
Never went to Category 1. Never went to Category 2.
Yep.
I believe this is the first time this has ever happened in Grand Archive bannings.
Kind of.
Oh.
Do you remember Imperious Highlander? The
The Anime Expo card?
promo card from Anime Expo? Because that card the promo came out before the set came out, so they had to ban it so that nobody would play it before the set came out.
Yes.
Except, did they like forget to tell everyone that it was unbanned? Because why is no one playing it?
I think it actually did get unbanned, but yeah, it's like,
Just kidding.
yeah, even though that card is banned, it's like, why would you ever want to play that card? But yeah, Dissonant Fractal.
Oof. Crazy.
It was, maybe oppressive enough that they had to just emergency ban it without going through the standard process. But it seems like everyone's quite happy about it. It allows the existing Diao-Chan deck to still function for the most part. It just loses its like a ridiculous consistency and machine gun like 4 fractals turn 1 and kill you on turn 2 type of like play lines.
Yeah, we should also mention that it's a 1 reserve cost fractal, so you can just like pay 1, throw it down.
Yep.
And then
it is the only 1 cost fractal.
Yeah, that's where it gets really snowball-y.
Yeah, and that its ability is unentered Glimpse 4,
Yeah.
which is an incredibly deep amount of card filtering.
Yep.
For a combo deck, I mean, the whole idea of a combo deck is like the cards individually don't do very much, but once you've assembled the combo, you immediately can win. But the fact that it can glimpse 4, set up your next turns, and also itself is card neutral because it's reservable, it just made it way too easy to assemble the combo.
Yeah.
And the card and the deck is like, it's not only fast and, you know, reliably gets to its Burst Asunder or Shimmering Refraction win cons quite easily, it can also play a lot of different types of styles. It can like go allies with Frostworn. It can refill really easily with Zhangjiao. It can even go a little bit like aggro with Gildas. So between these different kind of lines that it can play, it's very important that they control what they're drawing and putting down. And I think Dissonant Fractal really helped with that like level of control.
So something I thought about, right, when we're talking about directly into category 3, and the fact that this card, we've had 2 BNRs where this card was not like even in category 1, but we saw the Fractal decks kind of dominating even towards the end of the last season. Before HVM was out, we started seeing the Fractal deck. I'm kind of curious, like, was this card supposed to go to category 1 for a little bit and then at least on the watch list or something? Some people were like, maybe the philosophy behind why is this thing something that's not necessarily problematic or watched, all the way to, oh yeah, it's really bad, we got to ban it. Like that part, the skip is a little bit jarring for me.
I agree,
as a player, because we had empty BNR announcements in the recent past, right? So to me, it's almost like maybe something changed, or maybe something's coming down the line. Or honestly, I think the other part of it too is maybe there's like, and this is my theory a lot of times with these kind of games, that developers literally can't give you the answers. There's probably a way to deal with this that was, at least in testing on their end, that was like, yeah, it's fine. But what's happening now is that instead of the answer being found and then like eating the Fractal deck, what's happening is the Fractal deck is dominating so much that we're going to go into a Worlds season where it's like, well, half the players are going to play at least Fractals, and then everyone else have fun with whatever deck you think you can beat the Fractals with. To maybe balance it out a little bit for Worlds to have a better showing, I think, right? Because I think the next BNR is supposed to be like way after Worlds too. So July's 25th or something, yeah. So it could be for that purpose, just to have a nice like smooth ride into Worlds with a very different, fresh meta.
Yeah, but I mean, like if it weren't Dissonant Fractal, what card could have been banned instead? Really?
I mean, a lot of people were saying Burst Asunder, but no, I've been Dissonant Fractal, Team Dissonant Fractal the entire time.
You've always been saying Dissonant Fractal.
Yeah, it enables literally everything about that deck, just like giving you a bunch of fractals so that you can negate harder, laser harder with refracting missiles and shimmering refractions. And nice thing about banning Dissonant Fractal is that it doesn't affect the pre-constructed Jiao Chan Recollection deck at all.
Yeah, much better than buying a slime deck and your baby gray slime is banned out of the box. Yeah.
And also, I would add that, you know, any of the kill cards, right? If you ban like, you know, refracting missile, you know, Burst Asunder, etc., you're just taking one end, like one finisher out of the game. It slows down a little bit, but I feel like the deck still works. The problem is not the fact that there's a kill win con. The fact is like you can get to the win con really fast, and fractals themselves help each other, so you get to a point where it powers everything. So in a way, banning Dissonant Fractal actually nerfed all of those fractal cards, because every card that counts or cares about fractal now is a little bit weaker because there's one less very powerful fractal that they can't, you know, interact with anymore. So yeah, I think it's a good choice as well.
I do think that, you know, among all the cards on the table, Burst Asunder, Dissonant Fractal, Glimmering Refusal, I think I didn't want to ban Burst Asunder because it felt like such an iconic card. It's almost like the face card of the deck. So everyone's just like, you buy the Recollection, you add Burst Asunder, you're ready to go. But I kind of also wanted to see Glimmering Refusal go, because that's just such a powerful negate. It's essentially just says negate anything. Because I mean, what are you gonna do? Pay 5, pay 6?
And it's not even like advanced element. So if you're water, you have access to it.
I was about to say, it feels unfair. Our Asana has to go to level 3 to get her hard negates.
Probably the closest we have to like hard counterspell in Grand Archive so far. But yeah, I'm totally fine with this banning.
You do have to work up to it, right? So the whole idea is, again, we're taking a fractal out. We're taking also one of the cheapest ones that can reserve and pay itself and just literally combo into itself out. So ideally your glimmering is like 2 and then maybe 3 or 4 and that's it. Like
that's a good
very
point.
Workable versus like 6.
So glimmering won't be as strong now because it's hard to get as many fractals on the board.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so that was category 3. What do we think about the new category 2 changes? So they've added crystalline mirror
Mark's
and
happy.
lost in thought in category 2. I just kind of want to like have a thought experiment real quick. Are there cards that enter category 2 and don't get banned? I mean,
Scepter of Lumina. But it already got banned.
It got errated into oblivion.
That's the only one that I think has fallen out. I think everything has either gotten to 2 and then stayed there.
Yeah.
Like the Chalice.
Or Chalice is still there.
Chalice still
Yeah,
there.
Chalice Blood. Like
hanging out.
7 months later,
Jin
still
sucks
there.
right now
Hanging
still.
out
Okay,
there.
when Jin is 50% of meta, Chalice is
Seriously,
banned instantly.
why is Chalice of Blood on category 2?
I don't know.
Are you crazy? Like,
But yeah, I think from what I've seen, yeah, every category 2 either gets banned or stays there forever.
okay,
It's
so
pretty risky.
yeah. So if you have a Lost of Thought promo, are you like scared to death that this is going to inevitably get banned?
Probably.
Jeez.
I mean, it's also, I think, you guys have seen like the CPR version, right? The special.
So beautiful.
So pretty with Diao Chan in the snow and the umbrella.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're gonna ban my baby. my play set of Lost in Thought foils.
He didn't even win any of them.
Yeah, the Panake's art. Yeah, I actually think it's kind of interesting because I don't know, that card is really expensive.
The financial impact
That's
of
right.
this
DM me.
DM Mark. Come
Yeah,
by.
oh, sorry.
You got some deals?
Yeah. DM me at holla at your boy Solar Games on Twitter and Discord for best prices on Lost in Thought before the ban. I don't know.
Yeah. What's sad is like, it feels like even though it's such a nice, pretty card that's quite expensive and definitely going to hurt a lot of people's like wallets.
Yeah.
It kind of deserves to be there.
Oh man.
Lost in Thoughts is so busted.
Is it really that bad?
It's free
It's
floating.
the card advantage. No, it's not even the free floating. It's the fact that it's card advantage.
No,
right?
it's both of those things.
Yeah.
Like it has scales infinitely.
Sure.
Like I can like pay 4, draw 4. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then like the whole Frostworn Lost in Thought combo, like everyone has seen ad
That's
nauseum.
fine. Hey, let me keep that. Just print a 0 cost floating memory. I'm happy. Just get rid of the other text.
But games in general, like free spells always have the potential to be busted. And free spells that like scale in like unlimited, just can be so easily broken. Anyway, so maybe we should pour one out for Lost in Thought.
Or maybe it stays there for a long time, and if again, it's, I think part of the, as you guys are noticing too, right? Like category 3, category 2, a lot of water cards. Water's really in the meta right now. If water falls out of the meta, then maybe these cards kind of just can chill there for a little bit and not be a problem, right?
Yeah,
Not
please
sure.
fire if you could again.
Or wind, tempo, whatever. Yeah.
I remember you saying you're really happy with the crystalline mirror
Yes.
being put onto the BNR.
Yeah.
So category 2, you got
Category
what you
2.
wanted.
I mean, and again, if what we're saying is true about every card that goes into category 2 basically stays there or goes to ban. I like it. I like the fact that like we're getting this whole, I don't know, regalia destruction thing out of water, which is cool because water already kind of has a way to deal with it, fracturize, but it's like a very unique way where you're kind of still giving a little bit advantage to your opponent, right? But now we're just going to do it in the way where, hey, you can't just destroy stuff if you're water. I think it's really cool. It maintains the game's element pie, be able to have that like, asymmetrical balance. I think that's what makes games fun for me. I don't want a game where, I mean, otherwise I'd play chess, right? Everyone has the same pieces. And we're okay, well, you have a pawn, I have a pawn. No, like your pawns do something different than mine. That's actually kind of why I like card games, video games, whatever. So I enjoy it. I like it.
And also early on in the game's life, it was harder to get crystalline mirror online. Now it's like trivially easy to do so.
But Dissonance Fractal's banned, right? So we're good.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
All right. What about Merc Blade on category 1? Does it deserve to be there?
Merc Blade, yes. Category 1. Okay, like I feel like we can put a lot of cards in category 1. This is again goes back to the point of like, should we just put more cards that we're starting to see problems with now?
Every good card put a category 1.
Just drop it in there. Like if it shows up more than like 40%, just put it in there for now and see what happens, right? This card, like not a lot of decks run it, and the decks that do run it, we just they perform very chaotically because they're the aggro deck, which is like supposed to keep a lot of these combo decks in check, keep the slower decks in check, right? So Mercenary's Blade is really powerful because essentially it's, if you're assassin, you have 1 prep counter, you can burn the prep counter to activate it from your material deck, right? And so this is really helpful because if you're like basically about to win, and you have a Blazing Throw in hand, well, you can 1 prep counter now suddenly, and I guess 1 cost for activating the Blazing Throw equals 4 damage. Right? Works very similar to like Varuk and Soul Knife, except here's the other thing. This is norm, so any assassin can use it, whereas at least Soul Knife is really in the fire decks, right? To be able to do that part of it. So to again, materialize outside of your materialization phase to get an extra weapon on board that you can do something with. So I think that's part of the reason. I also see a lot of people just want to play this card like in multiple different decks. So that's probably why they're watching it. But personally, I don't know if it's really that big of a problem because again, the class bonus should lock it back from like you being able to Pendragon this thing or whatever, right? Some weird combo that somebody can pull. So yeah.
It does seem like maybe their ban philosophy is also to like hit consistency. Yeah. Like this makes aggro more consistent, right? Because you don't always have the ability to throw your weapon. Yeah. But this is just like, I'll grab my weapon, throw it. Or I need 2 more damage with slice and dice, so I'll grab this and slice and dice with this.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. It could stay category 1, or it can come off.
Just like Creative Shock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of cards that didn't stay in category 1. So yeah.
But yeah, those were the BNRs.
Big BNR.
Yeah.
Big content. All right.
Yep. And I think they had quite the impact on cornering the market.
All right.
Cha-ching.
Cool. Let's talk this week. Cornering market is kind of fun this week because, of course, with what's already leading up to the BNR, of course, changing price on certain cards, which allows now certain other decks to be very powerful. So one thing to really think about for the people who don't think like Tristan is way back now in the meta, Ensnaring Fumes, which is a very, very Tristan card against the mirror. So this is like how much Tristan think that they're gonna have to face other Tristans, and now of course your Shenju decks too. Ensnaring Fumes used to be about like when Tristan was really in about like $9-10, dropped down to $5 for $3 when Tristans were out, and it's now back to $13 again.
Jeez.
Right. So yeah, that's the reality here. It's 160% increase. But yeah, every time we see a Tristan deck, and if Tristans are good and they have to face other Tristans, this is a very easy way for Tristans to go and clear the other Tristans' board of shadows. And there's going to be a shadow battle like throughout this. Yeah.
Got Turtle Killer, Shadow Killer, Dragon Killer.
Yeah.
I remember when this card was like 30 cents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had so many of them.
Wow. Okay.
So it's crazy to see that it's like over $10 now.
Yeah. It was like unplayable when you couldn't get the prep counters for it, right? But now it's like infinite prep counter. So yeah, again, free spell. What you were saying, anything that's free
spells are busted.
They're busted. Yeah. So second card in this category is actually Beseeched Fatestone. Yes, this is the panda card. So it's the Fatestone that's a panda on the back. This card used to be about $5, pretty stable there. But now it's like moved towards 15 and going on maybe towards 20. Again, I'm looking at the quantity of sales, but also looking at the quantity of stock on TCG Player, and it's just like decreasing. There's not a lot of cards left at that 15 level. Who knows? Maybe this will invite more sellers to list more. Maybe this will, again, just go to 20 right away. But that's a 200% increase in the last probably 30 days or so. But yeah, so this is kind of interesting because this deck is actually just, this card is used in the Win Seiryu deck, basically just getting more Beseeches, right? To get to Goja faster and to flip the Seiryu much faster. But yeah, it's again really, really, really interesting combo.
Good card.
Yeah, and then the last card is in this section is gonna be Lost in Thought.
Ooh.
We talked about this just like 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. But yeah, this card at I guess MRC pre-MRC Alter release was around $8 at the high. Is now $4, and I think probably gonna start plummeting. Here's the really interesting part though, right? So it's 15% drop, it's a lot. But category 2, of course, affects the price. MRC Alter, the reprint, affects this price, right? However, this is the really tricky part. Until this card is banned, everyone's gonna have to still have 4 of it, right? If you're building Water Deck, you buy 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the moment it's banned, it's like instantly 25 cents or whatever. So it's a really awkward spot right now for this card. Just what I would recommend, guys, is just have enough for your playset, maybe just 1 probably, so you can run your Water Decks, but don't buy any more than that is, you don't spec on this card, obviously.
Let me say something. I think people shouldn't be panic selling their Lost in Thoughts because it's gonna happen. They're gonna make a no ban list format. Mark my words. Okay, my prediction is that Waves will make a no ban list format at some point. So you could run all your Avarices and Icebound Slams, Reckless Conversions, and Lost in Thought is going to be a staple in that format.
So Avarice Foil is a $10 card.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, totally true. Could be like some other thing too, right? Like a I don't know, limited format. We already have PvE where this one is just viable in that format. So
Yeah.
Unofficial format.
Unofficial format.
Yeah. But Flesh and Blood has a Living Legends format where all their banned cards can be played. Well, GA, we're going to have our Living Legends format eventually too.
For sure. All right, some other cards I want to mention in the opportunity section is number 1 is Rose Eternal Pendragon. I'm seeing some interesting movement on this card.
Sorry, hold on. I don't think that's what it's called.
She's a Pendragon? Rose Eternal Paragon.
Oh
my god, he's so crux-brained.
Fact check.
This card is around $12 now, which is again about where it was, when it was like flatlining. You'll see Rose played here and there, but it's never like a card that's like in every single deck, right? But the funny thing is, I feel like again, what I'm seeing is I think robots are seeing more opportunity. I'm not saying they're back, but I'm just saying there are more cards printed for robots, the automaton deck, and of course, I'm seeing purchases. So the card that people usually don't request are now being requested, which is now giving me some ideas, the inklings that, hey, maybe we're on an upward trend for this card. Again, the card itself reads pretty well, but I think it needs a deck for it. One last card that's on the opportunity list, and we talked about this last time, is Vertigus Decree. It's really all the decrees, but this one specifically, if you remember, this card used to be like $30, right? Now it's at 18. We're at the sub 20 level, and I did say last episode, when MRC Alter comes out, it's going to be sub 20. Buy your Vertigus, because this is going to be a key card in pretty much any win deck. And it's right now is like probably the best time. I don't know how much lower it can go from here, because it's still SR, right? Super rare. So it's still fairly rare to get this card. But yeah, not expecting this card to move much further. So this probably is a decent time to go buy this card before it moves up again after whatever Alter, stock is exhausted. So
yeah, pick it up.
Yeah, that's the updates for this week is cornering the market.
Very nice.
Cool.
Yeah. We have an outro cha-ching now. Nice. All right.
So when are you gonna write a song for cornering the market?
Cornering
like you did for trash or gas?
Cornering the market with Mark from Solar Games.
Cornering the market with Mark from Solar Games.
Mark from Solar Games.
All right.
All right.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna move on to our main topic for this week, which is gonna be a look back on the Nats season, but really focus on our most recent Nat, which is the North American Nats. All right, Eva, I think you have some data for us.
Kind of.
The facts.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We have some like cards that we thought were kind of interesting when we were watching the NA Nats stream. But so about Nats in general, we just finished the national season. We obviously didn't go because we're all scrubs. And we were super busy filming Love Live memes after locals, so just didn't have time. But yeah, like just congratulations to everybody who made it to Worlds, everyone who made it to the Gauntlet, which is of course the event that will happen right before Worlds, where all the runner-ups from Nationals will get a second chance to qualify for Worlds. So that'll be extremely exciting. We have some friends who are playing in the Gauntlet, so really, like praying for them to make it so that we can cheer them on in Worlds.
Good luck, y'all.
Yeah, I think the stories coming out of this World season are going to be insane.
Yeah. I want to see the like barely made it to Gauntlet, all the way to top 8 to like finals table type of story. I love it.
It'll be crazy.
It'd be cool.
And definitely an extra congratulations to our 2025 national champions.
Yeah.
We had Bob, who won in Southeast Asia. Hanky the Goat, who took it home in the European Nationals.
Good.
Kaven, who's actually from the US, but stole his spot in the Oceania Nationals.
Yep, Kaven, the best OC player. Pretty good. Love it. Yep.
Just like Lime is the best Asian.
That's right. Lime representing Singapore, or representing Southeast Asia.
And of course, Joe Facha, who just won the very recent North American Nationals.
Yay, congrats everyone.
Yes, congrats everyone.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything we learned from this Nat season at NA, SoCal strong.
Oh,
SoCal strong. A lot of those guys made day 2.
What a performance from SoCal.
Yeah.
I don't know what the training sessions in SoCal, but it's like, like Karate Kid, like X 1,000. Good job, guys. You guys did really well.
Yeah. And a little bit of extra context. SoCal stands for Southern California, and we live in Northern California. So they're kind of like our sibling that we have a friendly rivalry with.
Frenemy?
I mean, I hope so. We have a lot of friends down there.
Yeah, but there's a rivalry. Yeah.
And so I still remember how we first heard about Joe Facha. His reputation just like precedes him, because we kept hearing about this person from SoCal who was going to like 6 store championships in a row and winning all of them on Nico.
That's right.
And this was before Nico was considered good or was popular.
Yeah.
And it was just like, we were like, how is he doing that? Like, and we didn't know anything about him. So we were just like, is this guy like the final boss of SoCal?
Yep.
And then it turns out he's actually the final boss of Northern America.
Correct.
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I do remember the rumors that they called him the Demon King of SoCal.
He turned out to be like the nicest guy.
That is great. Oh, I love this story.
Yeah, but he's a super nice guy,
Yeah.
amazing player, so very well deserved.
So happy for him.
Okay, so on the subject of water,
Sure.
remember our last podcast episode? We were
Yes.
talking about how fire is back, baby.
Fire's so back, guys.
Okay, turns out fire is in the back. Fire's in the back of the bus.
That's right.
Okay, because what the frick happened to Fire Lorraine? It was supposed to be like the new big thing, because like it was so popular and doing really well. But that was a flash in the pan. Like,
I know. I mean,
it's dead.
we talked about how it did really well. It performed extremely strongly at 4 different regionals in one weekend, and then by the next week it was dead in the water. What's funny is that we take a week to release our episodes because we have to edit and go through the entire process. So by the time the episode came out, the deck was already dead in the water.
It was already dead when our episode
Not
came
true.
out.
Not true. If you were in Brunei towards the middle of May, that tournament was all Fire Lorraine. That was like about like almost a week and 2 seconds after.
Okay.
It was kind of interesting because I think it's like it's what happens with every aggro deck, right? Like if you don't know what you're running into, you're gonna get wrecked. So like for new players especially, it's an easy deck to pilot. It's also a hard deck to like kind of fight against. Once you have a lot more experience of what they're doing, the download being complete, then it's harder to like go against the deck.
Yeah, I mean there are some people still piloting it at North
for
American Nats.
Yeah.
I actually saw Jimmy playing Fire Crux Knight Lorraine. A for all 5 of you Crux Knight players, including Eva.
Hello.
But I mean the deck is kind of not exactly like Philo, which is like a low to the ground, allies oriented aggro deck.
Yeah.
Still really cool to see though.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy
so
Lee.
Cool.
Very on brand. But yeah, like why is it that Philo fell off so hard?
I'm really wondering the same thing myself. But like, I guess part of it is what Mark was saying. Like people just learn how to play around it, like just change up how their strategy. But also, I saw a huge increase in people playing Nullifying Lantern after
Makes sense.
Philo became really widespread. In recent big events, Nullifying Lantern has been in 50% of players' main decks.
As it should.
And then an additional 17 to 18% who have it in their sideboard. So
As they should.
everyone
Respect.
is running it.
Better respect the fire.
Well, I mean, it's mostly respecting Genbu, I think, and fire is just like dies as a result of that.
Sure, but,
I mean,
but
it's both.
I think it's both. I do think it's both. Yeah, because I see the lantern come back every single time fire comes back. But what about Clarent? I thought Clarent is like
Oh no!
one.
Clarence not good anymore.
Clarent's dead. What do you mean?
Because I think people are starting to run Captivating Opulence.
Oh, yeah.
That's the new tech card, the breakout of the recent Nats. All right, so Captivating Opulence is a 3-cost unique Fantasia cleric spell. And you're like, 3 cost? I would never play a 3-cost Fantasia. I only play 2-cost Fractals.
That's right.
But,
cost.
Yeah, but its ability turns out to be strong enough that they would still play it.
Yeah.
So first, on enter, draw a card into memory, so immediately replaces itself. It's actually not a Fractal, so it doesn't have reservable. But it does have a Diao-Chan bonus, which is activated abilities of Regalias you don't control cost 2 more to activate. So
Taxes.
yeah, that's right. You want to activate Clarent, you got to actually pay 2 to activate the Clarent. But of course, it's not just for that. You want to Quicksilver Grail into Safeguard Amulet to protect yourself from Burst Asunder. No, you can't, because you actually have to pay 4. 2 for the Quicksilver Grail and 2 more for Safeguard Amulet.
Ouch.
Wow.
Yeah, you want to bring out a Bauble, GCR, you have to pay 2 to crack it. You have to pay 5 to crack your backup charger. So it turns out that this was like a really strong tech card in Nats.
Yeah, I was kind of poking around the stats, and during Oceania Nationals, which was earlier in May, this wasn't fully adopted by all the Diao-Chans yet. But notably, though, True Champion Gaming, the team, played it, including first place Caven. So that's probably kind of how it spread, because by North American Nationals, well, first of all, 5 of the top 8 were Fractal Diao-Chan, so it was did really well. And among the 46 players that made day 2, 14 were Fractals, and everyone but 1 played Captivating Opulence. So pretty much everyone, all the Diao-Chans at the top tables were on this card,
Yeah.
and seemed to serve them well.
Definitely a breakout for North American Nationals, and True Champion Gaming, always the trendsetters. By the way, shout outs to Fractal of Insight website, where we got all these stats. Still probably the best go-to GA tournament analysis website. Great job.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at all this. Sorry, I'm like researching while we're talking about this too.
Sure.
I'm looking at it. I see. I mean, I remember this, but I want to double check if that's still true. This card is run usually as a 1-of in a deck,
Yes.
right? And it's just like it speaks to the consistency of a Fractal deck with like glimpsing to be able to get it, like
Yeah.
the confidence to be like, you know what, I can still get it in time, and just destroy all of your regalia like strategy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's really
I
interesting.
mean, you're not running 4 of, right? You don't need that consistent like opener or draw because you can get to it eventually.
Yeah, and it's a
It's-
unique Fantasia, so you only can play
you
the
really
one.
only want 1. Yeah, once you have it out, you're good to go. Yeah. Anyway, so just kind of curious about that. Yeah. Still 1-of.
Very impactful one of though.
Yeah, very cool. So that's why Philo's dead. Opulence.
I mean, it's just one of the many reasons probably Phalo's dead.
So sad. So sad. Home by fire, guys. It's over. The dream was true, but it's now gone. All right. So what are some other cards that were the other breakout cards from this event?
Yeah, Mark. How often do you see people play Orb of Hubris?
Apparently now all the time. Yes, I see it every game. I don't know.
Yeah, so this is the Regalia. It costs 1, and it has banish this card to draw up to 3 cards, then shuffle that amount of cards from your deck from your hand into your deck.
Wow. That's
Yeah, so a lot like Orb of Regret, except the other way around, where you draw first and then not discard, but throw away cards back into your deck. Okay, so this card, Ascent Kuala Lumpur,
Yeah.
right? 400 player event,
Yep.
massive, the biggest ascent ever.
Mhm.
Guess who was the only one singular person at Ascent Kuala Lumpur?
No,
who was
don't tell
running
me.
Orb of Hubris.
And wait, did he like do really well in this event?
Oh, did he?
I mean, they were okay. They were just first place, but first place, Hachiko
Oh my god.
was the only person at this event
Wow.
running Orb of Hubris. And again, thank you to Fractal of Insight for providing that information.
Best website. Yeah.
Hachiko from Japan. They're a country of innovators.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then by Oceania Nats, 3 people were playing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then by North American Nats, 16 people.
Okay, I'm raising
So-
prices on this card right now on my website.
Bruh.
Just real quick.
Yeah, why is this card good? It costs 1.
I mean,
Are you kidding me? If you're in combo deck and you're looking for all the options, then just getting like 10 cards to choice and then throw away whatever you don't want is insanely good.
Yeah, it's like to start your win con basically, right?
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of cool, especially like you remember how you were saying earlier about the Fractal deck. There's like different ways to get there, or different ways to win, or what you want early, late game. If you had more choices, now you're like, oh, with these 7 cards, I can assemble the win con this way, and you chuck the other like possible win con line down because you don't have the other cards to support that. That's I think part of this where it's like really good to again, just like Regret, right? It's very similar, but the fact that you can draw the cards first and then shuffle it back is insanely powerful versus the other way around. Yeah.
yeah. Just as you said, it's played by the Water Fractal Diaochan deck, which is a combo deck. So use it to find your combo pieces.
Yeah. What other cards though? What other cards in this breakout event?
Yeah, I did see Joe Facha play Buried Grief,
Yeah.
which is a card that I had not seen played on stream before. All right, so Buried Grief is a 3-cost action cleric skill. Draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on top of your deck. So yeah, I thought people had concluded this card was kind of a trap before.
Yeah, but Creative Shock is good, right? So this is just Creative Shock, put it on the top of your deck.
Yeah, but Creative Shock puts it in your yard, so you could like discard your floating memory. This has no way of doing that.
It's also fast,
It's also
which is
fast.
it's like totally different.
Yeah. It's like it's slow. It's like a slow bad Creative Shock.
Yeah.
But then it turns out, when you're trying to mill your deck, putting your floating memory on top is pretty good.
It's insanely
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Oof.
You know what I love is seeing uncommons from sets from 3 sets ago
Yeah.
suddenly becoming top meta.
Hey, yeah, it's yeah. I guess this card wasn't really played right before this Nationals.
Oh boy, do I have a statistic for you.
Okay.
North American Nationals. Guess who was the one and only... Oh wait, no, wait, spoilers. We already said who was playing this card. Guess who was the one and only person who played this card? First place, Joe Facha.
No way. This is the Orb of Hubris of our Nationals. Holy shit.
Coincidence?
Guys, okay, look, here's the key, right? You play like the one random ask refurbish. Okay, somebody please just go win with refurbish, rank 1, right? Play some random card, and then apparently that's
Pick some uncommon from 3 sets ago.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Also, all of the other Nationals events, no one played this card.
Oh,
So it
okay.
really literally was just Joe Facha and then he took it all.
Wow. Yeah.
So cool.
Okay.
He knows the tech.
Turns out consistency is how you win games. No, because this card just like makes it so that, whatever you mill, which is to put a card from your deck straight into the graveyard, is exactly what you want. You get, whatever benefits like floating memory or like, for example, Pelagic Fatestone is a card that you never want to see in your hand. You want to have it in the graveyard.
That's really clunky to play from your hand.
Yeah.
And if you drew it, there's very few ways to get rid of it, right? Orb of Hubris and now Buried Grief, where literally immediately you can make it work.
Exactly.
Wow, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, because the only way you can get it to transform is if you banish it from your graveyard to pay for a memory cost.
Okay, I like it. So it sounds like, I guess now what, like with Fractals out, it's all Genbus now? Genbu's like the one,
Yeah,
right?
we're all gonna get beat down by
One
the
true
turtle.
god.
Probably gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, with these metas, it's always like a multi-part puzzle. People were saying like, well, really aggressive fire decks actually weren't doing that well, largely because Diaochan actually doesn't have that bad of a matchup against them. So Diaochan is good against Genbu. It's also not that bad against fire aggro. But with Diaochan getting kind of knocked down a bit, fire aggro comes back up, and I've heard that fire aggro plays better into Genbu than it does into Diaochan.
Okay.
This is so cool.
Maybe I'm totally wrong about that, but I would say it's hold your bets and don't just assume that Genbu is going to be the de facto best deck now, because the answers to Genbu are also getting better.
All right.
Fair.
TalkGA episode 19 fires back again, baby.
Speculation.
Yeah, speculation. Speaking of fire, speaking of all the things that we're gonna go into to like worlds. I think one topic that I've kind of heard rumblings pretty much all throughout GA time that GA has existed, right? But more recently has kind of come up again, is this discussion point about whether the speed of Grand Archive is, good, and whether the game is actually just maybe too fast. So one thing that triggered this conversation, at least in my mind, is recently I bought another player's collection, right? Somebody who's quitting the game. And the reason that this player mentioned to me was just felt like the game was too fast. This is a player that plays a lot of different card games. Felt GA was too fast. The level 3 like power fantasy wasn't quite there. Just again, it's just, that's kind of like what this person felt. But I'm actually kind of curious about, from you guys, what do you guys all think?
Interesting.
Do you think GA is too fast? Do you think the games are, no one can develop what they want to do, get to their end goal in the game? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I do think this is a hot topic. A lot of people would express the same opinion and have been pretty loudly. I can kind of speak from personal experience too, because I mained Water Lorraine Crux Knight for like a year and a half, right? That was the only deck I played. And then about a few weeks into A and B season, I felt that the game was too fast for me to play Crux Knight. So that was when I decided to rebuild my deck into a Water Allies Lorraine deck.
So you cut Crux Knight all together?
Correct.
No Pendragons, no Crux at all?
No.
Only level 2.
And part of the reason was also because Halakline Scout is a cool card.
Yeah.
But it just felt like if I wasn't putting pressure on my opponent at level 0, 1, and 2, I couldn't do... I was never... Yeah, I couldn't do anything. I could never get to the point where I could do stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely the case that you have to do something on turns 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Or like whether it be asserting your own board presence or dealing with your opponent's board, because if you don't, you just get rolled over. But in spite of that, I mean, there are still like a good number of level 3 decks, right? Like in the current meta. Yeah. Let's see, what are some popular ones? Like Luxem is still quite strong.
Yeah.
Right? Shadow Strike Tristan is really strong.
And by Luxem, do you mean Guojia Luxem?
Well, no, I like Xander Luxem.
Got it. Yeah.
Whether it be a Serene Fire Luxem, or Wind Luxem, and a Wind Arasana. So quite a popular level 3 deck.
Yeah.
But I mean, all these level 3 decks have something in common, which is they have also a fairly good early game plan, or a way to like stabilize very effectively.
Yeah.
Arasana can literally get a board wipe from the material deck and like completely stabilize and then run away with the game.
Can I also just point out that I think most, if not all of those decks that you just pointed out were all wind. Like Wind Luxem Xander, Wind Astra Arasana, Wind Shadow Strike Tristan.
Yeah.
So it feels like wind is like the element that allows you like, I don't know, both the survivability and also being able to close out your games.
Yeah, it used to be kind of like fire was that element to like turbo into level 3, but you're right, it does seem like wind has become more of that recently.
Wind is the element of speed.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, gotta go fast.
Yeah, plenty of tempo tools like Beseeching Fatestone.
Yeah,
just like they have everything, so it makes sense.
And I think that's exactly what it is. It's like the whole argument is like, look, if the game is pretty fast because it's either you do stuff right away or you get to where you can do stuff right away as fast as possible, because otherwise you're dead. Right? Like I remember this was during, I think maybe it was MRC season, right? I was playing I think I still was playing like some sort of like weird Turbo Merlin thing, right? I remember playing aggro decks and just felt like even though I was doing all the right things defending, I still was just too slow. Like I felt like I couldn't do anything. And like part of the challenge is, of course, in Grand Archive, without Art of War, allies come into, once you activate ally, you can directly attack with them right away, right? And they can target anything. So that makes it so that the game is, as a defender, it's hard to just control the amount of damage that's going to be kind of put onto you, right? So unless you're in an element where you can either heal or somehow like affect that board state, you having a board, you deploying allies doesn't actually do much unless they're taunt or intercept. And you're basically asking every deck that goes to 3, if you want to do it the slower way, you have to have like literally shields or else you're dead.
Yeah.
And now with literally decks that aren't even ally based, that are kind of turbo, right? Again, with Dissonant Fractal being banned, that could change quite a bit. But now they're going over your shields. Oh, you have taunt? I don't care. It's spell damage. So now it's even harder.
I think, you know what you mentioned earlier about the power fantasy of level 3, about like becoming advanced element and unlocking a new power level of cards, a new class of cards.
Yeah.
It seems that though in recent sets, the basic element cards have caught up in the power.
Yeah.
It's, for example, like what's Merlin's like late game? It's like drawing a card every other turn, inevitability, getting a boost in attack, being able to put Pendragons down, which are really powerful, but eventually just having such high level that they can just fireball you and kill you instantly.
And Majestic Spirit.
And Majestic Spirit to stabilize the game. So those are all quite powerful late game advanced element things. But what's Diao-chan's late game like? Diao-chan's late game is like, I fling 8 damage at you, draw a card, fling another 8 damage at you, draw a card. Oh, I could blow up all my things, do 20 damage to you in 1 turn. I can also counter all your stuff. I could deploy an ally and draw 2 cards for free. It's like, without even going to an advanced element, you already have such a high, like snowbally powerful engine.
And the other part too, right? Think about it this way: when you burst asunder, you don't actually have to commit the fractals. Because it's a May, right? So you just kind of say, I'm about to burst asunder. It's 2 damage or some amount much higher. Whereas like if you cast Incarnate Majesty, most Merlins who are doing that, they're doing it with like the whole entire hand down. So it's my dear better stay on the field to defend, right? And better be good enough to like survive another turn, because otherwise I'm dead. I have no response usually, right? You're not gonna be dear with like, oh, 4 cards in hand still. That's very rare. So that's another one of those like really tough parts. So even when you do activate your really powerful advanced element that you had to really work up to get there, you're doing that at a very defenseless position, right? They smoke bomb your deer. Okay, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. But it's like, you have to have balance, right? Because I mean, right now in the current meta, it does feel, I would say, rather level 1 focused, although there is still level 3, but let's, just admit that, lower level strategies seem to dominate. But that wasn't always the case in GA. In fact, I wouldn't say most of GA's history was like that at all. I would say at least half, or if not more, of GA's metas revolved around going as fast as possible to level 3 and then doing something explosive over the top of your opponent.
That is true. Like I said, for me, this didn't become a problem until AMB season.
I mean, think about Dawn of Ash. That was just like Ferrari Lorraine, see who can get to level 3 and then draw 10 cards before Recollection, versus Fire Rai, who's gonna get to hit level 3, immediately reckless conversion, take another turn pretty much, and then just like go insane. And then right after Dawn of Ash, we had FTC, which was whoever could get to Merlin first and then just overvalue you with that inevitability.
There was a Philo that time too that was doing really well, and of course there was the ASIN to the Wind Allies.
There's Wind Allies is always there.
Well, actually, that's when I think Wind Allies became a big deal, because it was dethroning the Merlins very, very
right.
It was the counter.
For sure, there's like at every stage of the game, there has always been aggro and level 3, but like these were times where like level 3 was considered like the pinnacle. And then let's not forget MRC, which is Tristan versus Slimes, which is just
two level 3 decks.
Slimes just get to level 3 as fast as possible and then Storm Slime you to death. And I think it's really only after that meta where it started to become like, oh, Scam Arasana, which is like Icebound Slam, you turn 1, Stratagem turn 2, you're dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And now we have like the new version of Scam, which was Diao-chan. Hopefully with the banning of Dissonant Fractal, like it's definitely powered down a bit.
Yeah. And who's to say, maybe like play devil's advocate here for a second, right? Who's to say that fast is a bad thing? I mean, the games are already kind of going long. I see more and more tournaments, I see more and more draws in general, and that's probably not a good thing in general. You want to finish the game, right?
I totally agree.
Let's say we go into day 2 for a major event and it's on timed rounds. Do you want to be there for a 2-hour stream, like per game? Like that's a lot. It's a lot for the casters, I'll tell you that. But it's also a lot for the players. Probably for people at home watching, they probably just don't want to be there for 2 hours of like some weird, stalled out game. So maybe the games being faster, I personally enjoy it when the games are faster. They're more dynamic, things are happening, and then we're done. Let's everyone get lunch, right? So
that's a good point. I think that GA has historically had a problem with games being way too long.
Yep.
Ending early has been a breath of fresh air. In maybe recent times, it's been a little bit leaning too much of just like the game's over on turn 2 or turn 3, But hopefully with these bannings, it's going to be a little bit more balanced and we're going to have more, meta diversity.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful too because realistically, every single starter deck, recollection deck, whatever, they all come with level 3s. So the whole idea is that like as many level 1s as we have, we're not just going to have like level 1 decks. All the starter decks, all the pre-constructed decks are level 3s. So there's just more and more choices as we have a bit larger card pool. My thinking is like, oh, how does like CL use like weird Umbra Tristan cards or something like that? And it could be really interesting, right? And maybe there is going to be some level 3 deck. I think it's just, for me, it's like I'm not saying level 3 deck should dominate and there shouldn't be an existence of an aggro or level 1 deck. I just think that the game could benefit potentially from having like, there's this like looming threat, like kind of like a Merlin, right? But if they get there, it's like, oh, it's over. But my job is to prevent them from getting there. But if they get there, right now, I think a lot of players are just like, they're so not rewarded to get there that they don't even want to go for it anymore. That's the hard part about like the game being too fast.
Yeah. There's also kind of like mechanics that prevent you from wanting to put in advanced element cards in your deck.
Yeah.
Like Imbue.
Yeah.
Right? The math for Imbue, if you have like a 3-cost card that requires Imbue, that means like at least half of your deck pretty much has to be that element. So if you have some norm and then some, like for example, water, for example, how much room do you really have to also throw in like Luxem?
Yeah.
So it's like almost by the design of the game that it kind of discourages wanting to go to level 3 because you need consistency. We're back on that topic of consistency, right?
Or maybe cards like Stratagem, Burst Asunder should be advanced element. Like the win con, the big finisher should be a big finisher, right? Like this is what happens when you allow me to like get to that point, right? Versus being a water card. Maybe that's the fix.
Or more level bonus cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely felt there are a lot of cards that I think should be level 2 plus bonus.
Yeah.
Why is Banner Knight level 2 plus bonus, but Halocline Scout isn't? I mean, maybe it's just that they wanted to give water allies a boost. I don't know, but just like stuff like that has been interesting to me. I definitely agree they should not have made such powerful cards accessible for the low to the ground decks.
Yeah, you can, for example, maybe fix it by Burst Asunder, water, level 3 bonus. Sacrifice fractals for this part, or something like that. Yeah.
There are not very many level lock cards in the game right now.
Yeah.
And there could be more.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And also like for example, Shadow Strike Tristan.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to go to level 3 to win. Let's slice and dice you and you're dead.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Slice and dice. Maybe should have just been Shadow Strike. Like I don't know. Like I'm not saying that all level 3 decks should do nothing level 1 and 2 and right. But at the same time, I feel like we're talking about, like some of these really epic finishers, I feel like would be so much more interesting as a level 3. And that just gives maybe some other decks more room. And so,
Well, I don't think we're saying that it's impossible to get to level 3. There are still plenty of level 3 decks out there. It's around, but I think it's about finding that balance where it's like you have enough people being able to fulfill that desire to play a long game with a big explosive payoff at the end versus those that just want to like, kill you very fast, low to the ground.
Yeah. That's the topic on the game, whether it's going too fast. Let's go to our last topic for today, which is around DTR and specifically Sylidar's latest hints and tidbits dropped on Twitter. All right, so again, Sylidar drops these on Twitter, usually prior to a set being released. There's a lot of like hints and like clues as to what cards. He doesn't really reveal the cards, but they're hinted at. We thought it might be kind of fun to kind of go over this live on the show with all of you guys. So let's do it. All right, so the first one we're going to cover on the show is DTR tidbit number 11. The Divine Relic of the set has a static ability keyword that has never been printed on a regalia before. What do you guys
Static
think
abilities.
this could be?
Ooh, static abilities.
Yeah, so we get one Divine Relic per set. This has been consistent unless we get like more than one or whatever, but probably just one, which I think is very flavorful. But there's going to be one with a static ability that's never been printed. And just for a reminder, static abilities, things that usually create a continuous effect, right? And it's always going to be active for the card. It's not going to be a triggered ability or things like that. So example of a static ability would be like, what's a good one? Like efficiency, right? Is one. Floating memory is a static ability, something like that. So what do you think it could be?
I was literally going to guess.
Floating memory?
No, efficiency.
Efficiency.
Like, what if? Because efficiency currently reads, this card costs level less to activate. But what if they just, say like, oh, efficiency also could mean this card costs level less to materialize. So what if it's like a 3 memory cost regalia with efficiency? So if you make it to level 3, it's free.
Yeah, I like that. And it's not like they haven't changed the definition of like things before.
Exactly.
So yeah, they could make efficiency also cover materialization as well as activation. And speaking of wanting to, support late game strategies, maybe this is one of the ways to do that. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I wanted this thing to be fast activation, but then I realized that's already taken by Stone Scale Ban.
Right.
I wanted it to be something with reservable and then have vigor so that you could rest it to pay stuff and then come back up and use it again. But then vigor is also written on slime totem.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think I found one that I'm certain has not been on any other regalia before.
Okay.
Omni Shroud. It's going to be Omni Shroud.
Okay, that's definitely not been on anything.
You get it out and then you banish it. And for 1 turn, it gives target item Omni Shroud.
Target object.
No, item. Object is a little too good.
What about weapon? Item or weapon?
But it's 1 turn.
Item or weapon, sure. Item or weapon.
Hey, we're cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. It's we have CL, we have Umbra.
Yeah. So
right?
you want your
the
big attack
envelops.
to go in uninterrupted. You give the Omni Shroud. Yeah.
This would be so good for Diana, and Diana is coming.
That's right.
In the next set, Distorted Reflections.
That's
right.
Yeah. Or it could be like Omni Shroud for Jin.
Yeah. Jin already has a card that grants Omni Shroud, but
now
you got one.
Consistency. Consistency is the word of this episode. Yes.
They try to blow up your sensor. They try to blow up your nullifying lantern. No, it's got Omni Shroud. Maybe a little too good. I don't know, but I thought it'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my guess is Omni Shroud.
What if it's just Kindle?
That would be pretty cool.
So
that would also require an errata to the definition of Kindle.
Which they've done before,
So technically, Rurouni Soul Knife has it, right? You banish 3 to materialize.
Yeah.
But what if you just keyword it? So see, the thing about this is you got to play like the way that a dev would think, which is like, haha, I got you. See, we're just gonna errata, like formally keyword a thing.
Yeah.
But it technically didn't exist before because it was not keyboard. So that's what I was thinking. I think Kindle will be kind of cool.
It could be, yeah. Makes
but I don't
things
know
a
what
little
it
more
does,
streamlined. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably would make the Divine Relic like slightly weaker because it's easier to get it out, but it's, like the effect itself is not going to be as strong or something.
Okay, but the Divine Relic can't be locked just to the fire element, right?
Oh, you're right. Oh, so it's not Kindle.
No, it can't. So, yeah.
Dream Shatter,
You're
guys.
right. You're right.
Oh,
sorry.
Our first
so
fire
right.
Divine Relic. I don't know. Maybe. Ooh, everyone gets one.
Element locked Divine Relics.
And the next one is a water one. Next one's wind. I don't know. This could happen. You think this game eventually would not have a Divine Relic that's a Crux card?
Never say never. Yeah.
Avarice. Divine Relic. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add for that tidbit? Should we move on to the next one?
It's Omni Shroud.
Plenty of ideas.
Probably Omni Shroud. Yeah. Okay. DTR tidbit number 13. I think this one's great, by the way. The set introduces cards with 2 elements.
Whoa.
We already have cards with 2 elements. We have double-sided cards, right?
Are there 2 elements?
Yeah, Lu Bu,
Bu.
Terra Exia.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
So,
true.
but so because it's introducing it, has to be a different implementation of this, right?
Yeah.
Probably not double-faced.
I was thinking single face, yeah, because I remember
Yeah.
we had this conversation too. Like other games have this concept of like a mix, or it's both, or it's one or the other. Yeah, I think it's interesting we're introducing this now.
Yeah. So if it's a question of is it this and that or this or that,
Yeah.
I believe it's this and that.
That's
So-
insane.
So it's actually a restriction,
Not a liberation.
right? I think they're going to be cards that are both a basic and an advanced element.
Yeah.
And your champ has to have both of those elements
love
for
it.
you to play
That's
it.
cool.
Dark fire.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So you have to be like Fire Umbra in order to play this.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
But I think it's really good creative space
Yeah.
because there are some advanced element decks that are really only have like one path to get there. For example, like a lot of people are playing like Wind Umbra Tristan, for example, and nobody's playing Water Umbra Tristan.
Okay.
So how do you encourage Water Umbra Tristan? Well, you make a really powerful Water Umbra only card.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
But doesn't this like also cause problems with like deck building and creativity?
Oh,
if you're,
it intentionally limits creativity. It definitely puts things
because it
more
forces the other way, right? Yeah.
It's like, yes, so you always have to balance, like you want a card that can be played on a lot of archetypes, but you also don't want a card that homogenizes everything. So anyway, I just think it's interesting. It's a like unexplored design space.
I was going down the line of dual, like or actually.
Yeah.
So I was thinking more like half the card. So instead of making it more powerful, make it weaker, but more flexible. So like what a norm would be like, but in a way where you tune it for one or the other side. Similar to how directions in Coming work, where you have to be this direction to get this capability. You could print cards that are like, okay, it's fire and water, but if you're fire, you get this, water, you get this. Let's say you're playing the hard way, right? You water Pocock. Now your fire and water both activate.
Yeah. Oh, so it's like you're saying these are basically modal cards.
Modal cards.
That are dependent on element.
But it rewards you more if you do both, which is the harder path.
So they're like fusion cards in Magic.
Something like that.
Like
yeah,
you can play one side or the other, or you can play both sides.
Both of it, if you can meet the requirements of both elements.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, it rewards you for doing the hard way, but it also doesn't stop you from leveraging the card in one or the other deck. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, it's also not a dead card if you're level 0 and haven't leveled up into, or level 1 and haven't gotten into Pocock.
Exactly.
Wait,
Maybe
Pocock
I just
is level 1 now. Never mind.
Yeah, Pocock is level 1, but let's say you're level 0
Yeah.
and you're water, you can play the water part of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's like it's just very similar. Like, okay, I can glimpse a little bit, or I can like throw one card into the graveyard, and maybe the fire one's like deal 2 damage. But if I'm a Pocock, I'm gonna throw one in the graveyard, could be a fire card, and deal 2 damage. And now like I got a floating memory, I can burn for something else. Like I'm really Pococking, you know?
Yeah. Actually, I like your idea better because we were just talking about how hard it is to get to level 3 because of consistency.
Yeah.
Like when you draw a hand of all Luxem cards on your opening hand, like what am I gonna do with this? But there now you can have cards that are like half Norm, half Luxem. So like you can play it for the num. If you draw it, in the beginning, you could play the other half of it.
Oh my god, that would help with bricking so much.
It would really help with bricking.
It's weird, right? Like it's kind of an interesting,
Okay, actually, I like that idea.
It opens up weird spaces, and again, like because you do the or, I guess the or and you can reward again the hard way. You want to take the hard path and do the like super fantasy, like I'm fire and water. Yeah, you really get it.
Give me that now for water and Crux, please. Like I want to see my Crux cards, but not now.
Yeah.
Okay. Third one, DTR tidbit number 12. The set introduces a new ally archetype primarily in the fire element. New ally archetype, primarily in fire. That does mean that it's in other elements, but it's primarily in fire. So the hint is, what is a fire thing to do that's an ally archetype?
What does our fire expert here think?
I'm gonna ask you guys first. I have a really cool idea.
Oh, okay. He thinks his idea is better than ours.
No, I just want to. I can share you, but I don't want to like color your thoughts on this.
Oh.
yet.
Yeah, you
Okay.
you go first, Eva. I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Well, I wasn't really thinking about the fire part, but I did have some ideas of cool ally archetypes that could
Okay.
happen in
Yeah.
DTR. Because if you look at like Alice in Wonderland,
Yep.
so the first book for Alice in Wonderland,
So deep. This is we're now studying like side lore for this
hey,
game.
love
welcome to AP Literature. No, I'm just
That's
kidding.
right.
So the first book has a bunch of playing card motifs, right?
Yep.
So we see this in characters like the Queen of Hearts, the King of Hearts, the Knave of Hearts, which is the Jack of Hearts.
Yeah.
And we do know that the Queen of Hearts is in the set. Actually, no, not confirmed. She is definitely a character in Grand Archive. I don't know
Yeah.
what form that will take.
Okay.
But anyway, what if they do something around like the suits of playing cards, like the hearts and clubs, diamonds, spades?
So like creature card. Like a automaton, human.
Well, who knows if it's actually
Cardboard.
gonna be like a subtype? But I like the idea because it's like suits that match, and then maybe like has an effect if you have the corresponding matching suits, or if you have like a court, like a Jack, Queen, King.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. Like yeah. Okay.
Like when you have a specific combination of allies together, you get an additional bonus.
Exodia!
Voltron, yeah.
Yeah.
Exodia, yeah. Okay.
Or like if you get all 4 suits on the board,
Yeah.
you just like win.
You win.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's literally Exodia.
But I mean, we see things like what's Oath of the Sakura, where it's like, oh, if you have exactly 3 unique allies on the board, so something along those lines, maybe just like it already like half exists in the game.
Yeah. So if you have 1 spade, 1 heart, 1 diamond, 1 club, you get some special
Something.
I don't
effect.
know,
Yeah.
like flip your Lubu or something. like,
So maybe it's like, but the thing is like, wouldn't that archetype exist in every element? Wouldn't it be more fun like if everyone has access to that versus like, oh, only
Yeah.
fire plays the cards.
yeah.
But maybe
mean-
it's fine if the fire plays the cards, you know?
It could be Fire's thing,
Yeah, it
like
could be
because
Fire's
maybe
thing.
they're all like kind of low to the ground, small allies.
Yeah.
Or what if they decide to like introduce just like the hearts cards in DTR, and that's just like Fire's thing, and then in the next set it's like, oh, all the spades cards are Water's thing. I don't know.
Oh, so this is another one of these trick questions. Actually, everyone does get a new archetype, but like
But
this
later.
one archetype. Yeah, okay, I
Could
get
be,
it.
could be.
Could be, yeah. All right, cool.
So anyway, in the sequel book, Through the Looking Glass,
Yeah.
that one features chess motifs.
Okay.
Okay, so we see this with like characters, the Red Queen, the what was it, like the White Knight and rooks and stuff.
Oh, yeah, the rook. I remember the rook. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were teased the art of the card Whimsy's Warden on social media, and they're carrying a shield. And currently, it's debated whether the shape of there's a shape that's on the shield.
Yeah.
So people are debating whether that's a pawn, like in the chess piece, the pawn,
Yeah.
or it could also be a keyhole, which would
interesting.
make her the doorknob character in Alice in Wonderland. So if it were the pawn, that would support this whole chess motif,
Okay.
and also just like red, white, and black. Very.
But we already know this
chessy.
card. This card is a water card. You see the snow in the back?
Wait.
There's like this ice or whatever is going. Sorry, I'm looking at a bad picture
I'm gonna
here.
look at it again.
Yeah.
Pulling it up now.
The way that GA works, right? The background shows what the card element is.
I mean, it also kind of looks like a gust of wind, but it's not like neon green, so it's
Correct.
not Grand Archive wind.
That's right. This is Grand Archive water for sure.
Wait, I'm freaking stupid. She's literally standing on a chessboard.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
literally chess pieces next to her. Am I dumb? I was only focused on the shield this
Oh
entire
yeah,
time.
this is definitely chess. Yeah.
But again, I feel like if it's like that, it's got to be in all elements. Because right? Like you're gonna give only Fire the chess pieces. It's
Okay.
You wouldn't.
Okay. This is why it's in Fire.
Okay.
It's about having specific suits in your grave. So it's like
Okay.
like maybe
Okay,
it's
okay.
like having like the reserve costs, like certain combinations of reserve costs, or there's like explicitly like stated on the card what suit they are. Then you have different combinations, and when you have them in a certain combination in the grave, you can do something with it.
Yeah, actually, hearing you guys' ideas now, I'm like, these are way more advanced than what I had. My idea was like super basic, super simple.
Yeah.
Just like,
What is your super
Yeah,
basic,
but it's
super
probably
simple
like,
idea?
Yeah, it's probably like relevant to Fire though, at least.
Yeah, fire zombies.
Oh, okay.
Fire
Yeah,
zombies.
Yeah.
So an ally archetype whereby you play it from the graveyard. Like they're not kindling; they actually come out of the graveyard into play, but they only last one turn.
So Decayed and MTG.
Or like there's a
Direwolves.
dash or whatever. There's some way to get it out of the graveyard and then it does something and then it goes basically banish afterwards. Something like that. I was thinking like fire zombies. Then maybe they're like there's like another, again, we have double-sided cards. So maybe like the front side is like an ally, but when it dies, you flip it in the graveyard and you could get it again for that one last hit. It's like a skeleton that comes in or something like that.
It's true. They said it's a new ally archetype, and we don't really have Reanimator yet.
Yeah.
There's like some very light.
guess anyways.
There's like stuff that comes back, but not like true at Reanimator.
Yeah. And the reason I like this so much is because one of my favorite characters from Bleach is the commander captain, Soul Taichou. Like, and he had, so this is like the old dude, right? Hey, look, all my weaves, you guys know what I'm talking about. He has a sword, you know.
too?
Actually, no.
too?
Fome is too good for Bleach. Bleach is like below him. Okay, it's only for like plebs
God,
like
we're
me.
gonna get
Wonderland.
shot.
What does that have to do with
We're gonna get
DTR?
shot.
No. It's just, again, it's like, remember, it's Alice in Wonderland, but the base game is a Weeb's game. We have to have Weeb's fantasy in every single set, right? And so the fantasy is this. He has this sword, and he goes like Bunkai with a sword. And he has cardinal directions. It's like Koming, but like, you know. If he goes south, he summons all of the enemies that he has defeated in the past, and they come back alive as zombies to fight again.
Wow.
So as soon as I saw like I don't know why I got there, but I saw this line, I was like, it's got to be fire zombies that you summon out of the graveyard. I was so excited about this.
Fire, Umbra, dual element zombies.
Oh yeah, we got to tie all of the tidbits together, right?
Modal zombies with
Yes.
a static ability. I'm just kidding.
Yes, that's summoned by the divine relic, which is the sword. You have to point it south and get the zombies out. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All right. What do you guys think? You know, these are our guesses, and they're kind of fun, and I hope you're having fun guessing these too. But curious to hear about what you guys think these tidbits are pointing to. Maybe there's some ideas that we haven't explored. Love to hear it. Leave us a comment in the comment section. Let us know what cards you think these are pointing to, what DTR could be bringing to us.
Omni Shroud.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. If you have questions for TalkGA, make sure you email us at TalkGA podcast@gmail.com. You can tweet at us on X or Twitter at TalkGA_podcast. And of course, you can also, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can leave us a comment in the box below, hashtag TalkGA, and then follow about your question, and we'll get to your questions live on air. All right, that's going to be out there for this week. We hope you had fun kind of walking through a bunch of topics with us, and hopefully you're excited about Worlds and, of course, DTR.
That's right.
All
Thanks
right.
for tuning in.
Thanks, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Stay classy.
Stay classy.
何が好き
Bankai.
Bunkai.
よりもあなた
Yes, that part.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Audio speeds.
Okay.
All right.
TalkGA episode 18, take 1. That was a good clap.
It's sure agreed.